Thank you, friends. Appreciate it. Yeah, this is a marquee matchup for these two squads. It's one of those that you feel like it could shift the power rankings overall because of the fact that both these two teams have won our two most recent majors. But I think the biggest thing here is, can Thieves replicate what they did last year and find this late season form where really no one's able to touch them?
Yeah, it really does feel like that history is doomed to repeat itself. I mean, just got done winning Major 4. Who's to say that the skill ceiling has already been met for the LA Thieves? Toronto, though, could honestly just play upset, not for different circumstances. I mean, obviously the Dust already touched on it. Both these teams are going to be at champs, but ultimately seeding very much so could still be on the line should you want that third or fourth.
That's the big thing about it. I mean, setting yourself up to get to champs is obviously kind of job number one, but putting yourself in the best position possible to win, of course, the ultimate goal. So with that, Toronto looking to get themselves, again, kind of this full head of steam forward after their series yesterday versus Seattle. They're looking pretty primed for it, but it is your defending stage 4 champions in their way. We've got Ultra, we got Thieves. Let's get it on.
Also needs to be talked about, the last time that these two teams faced off against each other was when Standy was still in the roster all the way back on the 4th of February. So maybe some stark differences in between Toronto Ultra off their hot win yesterday versus Seattle. And but you know, I mean, they're already flying all the way through Art, found themselves a couple of kills. They're quite content with allowing LA Thieves to set up around the hard point so long as they can get back munitions.
And Envoy can keep just finessing this. Good work by Drazah on the old time here, just to kind of make sure that, okay, I know I can focus on the back. Well won by Envoy. That should really determine the circumstances set up for Gallows coming up for P2. Toronto spawning in the worst possible position. Insight will have a chance spawning up towards Hay to kind of cut across the archways, but Octane's kind of keeping the rest of Ultra at bay with this mid-cross, or so you would think. Scrapz peels him out of the window. Envoy tested at new, and how about Ultra? They clean off the old time, and they've got numbers to flip the spawns around as we head over to the second.
Octane has been such a huge issue for anybody facing the Thieves on hardpoint so far, boasting that 1.10 KD, just holding these longer lines of sight. But finally, the push comes through for Ultra. They get back munitions, they flip the spawns in for the initial time of 2.
Octane in a little bit of trouble. Takes a lot of shots, but sends just as many back. Problem is, lots of help for the Ultra are coming together here at the backside anchored. And that's going to lead to the Thieves now having to reaggress this from the front. Oh, great predictions from Insight. Peels off one through the doorway, cut through mid-map. Clinics gets his first elimination, and how about Ultra? First 30 seconds are theirs, and they're looking maybe even arguably better for the back 30.
Yeah, working so well in tandem with one another, making sure that they maintain munitions control. And LA Thieves, they're making the right call. Didn't work. You were looking at about 30 seconds left. You want to kind of toss up about 15 seconds just to maybe try to break P2 again. No, you go in for the full rotation over towards P3. Even Ultra giving up the old time, trying to flip out the spawns, will be successful in the first.
Oh, huge for Thieves, though. That is so critical. Ultra force LA to spawn behind P2 right as they hit rotation. Thieves needed to win those gunfights in through maps, and it keeps the status alive for them to set up over towards this courtyard fountain area. Toronto looking to get early through this side door over towards Envoy's direction, but he's good for the both Ultra members that are trying to contest. So that's going to be 4 in a row for him. The Thieves have put together one heck of a hold. Killing spree is where it stops for Envoy. Octane in a little bit of trouble, but deals with it nicely. Still alive, still a trophy system to keep him in place, and his teammates are trying to flood back forward to help him out a little bit further in towards it. Hixie for the double turns and takes care of a stunned up Octane, and Toronto will get a break here at Fountain.
Oh man, Octane thought he had Hixie dead to right. Stop shooting. We've all been there, but now Hixie up to 8 in 3. If Kleenex wasn't going to pick things up early, Hixie's going to continue to be the playmaker, and that couples along nicely for Scrapz, 12 and 7. That's a big break, whether way you look at it, for LA Thieves to not get a full 60 there. Ultra will be able to maintain just a very small lead, and you still have Ultra members trying to make further plays across the map. Insight's going to get found out top in the, or the back of munitions, excuse me, as LA Thieves set themselves up top rails for ahead of P4.
Kenny also trying to lock down mid, making life difficult for Ultra when it comes to hitting this hard point from multiple points of ingress. A lot of it's going to come from the side door. Shots from Drazah good, but not good enough. Insight gets the kill. Octane tested on the second floor as the contest comes in for Ultra, but ultimately it just does not have enough numbers to secure the break. Last one in was Kleenex, and Envoy gets his double, now 3 in a row, as LA set up their hold once again with still 35 seconds to fight.
Yeah. Ultra going to give one good shake at this, but they're going to try to maintain stables control ahead of the rotation 4-5. Going to be able to find at least a couple trades. This hit's mostly coming through up top on rails. Octane's been a big issue as far as this hold is concerned, and Ultra are looking to flood, but it's Envoy down low that still finds 2, trying to keep Thieves in for the scrap.
Gave Drazah a real good chance at it, but unfortunately Toronto's clean hit led to just too many members there for the Thieves to deal with. 94 plays 84. Scrapz just kind of holding over to the exit. Goodness, the damage is significant, but unfortunately he does not win the gunfight, which means Thieves will get the bit of scrap and have a chance to rotate on the exit. Insight looking to get aggressive maybe early. Steps out of the hard point just before it opens, so his position is still concealed for the time being. But that will change as now he steps out from the side door. Alarm bells start to ring for the Thieves. They flush him out, no problem. Clinic's trying to re-hit, but a well-placed stun keeps him locked into place, but ultimately not a big deal, apparently. Clinic gets the kill, stays alive. It's eventually a frag that gets the elimination onto him, but Toronto have a chance to break on through.
Yeah, it's only HyDra here. He's inside the hard point, but he has so much assistance by way of Kleenex as well as insight in top and bottom single. Trade still coming through. And Thieves still have those closer spawns in and around P3. So Ultra gonna have to respect that and then recontest for maybe some 20 seconds.
Tight game still. Inside on 4 up top. Teammates stacking below him. Thieves trying to put together a response, holding from the outside doors, but inside, oh, thought he was gonna be good for the double. Octane was tagged down low, but not to be. Scrap time, fully earned. Thieves enjoying just over a 30-point lead as we rotate back over towards B1.
That was a significant flip of the first set of hard points by way of the Thieves there. Good choices made there during the P5. Gonna have just a very slight lead going in towards the second set, but I mean, they're staring down the barrel of what used to be old Fortress control. They gotta break out from this side of the map, and that mostly comes through the middle as well. Gotta find these trades inside. HyDra, Scrap, all getting involved. This is gonna accrue more time while maintaining map positioning.
That was a really tough gunfight for Scrap as he continues to flourish. An impressive KD thus far, even in a currently losing effort. Lead getting reduced to minimal numbers. Back within single digits. HyDra looking for a lineup, but only gets one. And with that, the Thieves will clear off the first hard point. Kleenex still thinking he can contest it, rightfully so. Double gets tallied. Another one over to the other side as Toronto look to not just play for the old time. They're looking to set up for P2. An apt time to go on into a Toronto Ultra. Listen it.
Closed. Yeah, low pillars already went back P2. Behind you, single, dead. That's one I ring. Yeah, there's probably two, at least two now.
Help you.
Yeah. He's backstage. And close bench on the side door.
Stage, one bullet behind it.
I'm getting side door.
Side door now.
In the bill.
Side door.
Push out. Push out. One's closed as well on me. Yeah. Good time.
Before me.
Close the side door, child.
Then people.
He's on the back bench, on the back stairs. On you. And one's like at stage, I think.
Man up, he might hit back.
Close right as well.
Close
right side door. E5 dead. Left side door now. And weak as fuck. Gemini.
Side door closed.
I spawned cage now.
Like cage. I spawned out, I'm rotating.
Play ahead. Already Jimmy. Scrap. Absolute. He's going. Side door, Jimmy. One shot. Gun side green. Might go low. I need side door, Jimmy. I need side door. Keep on that. I spawned out by the way. They might spawn front and Scrap as well.
Him side door still.
Top green on me.
Open.
Side door dead. One open.
Top green on me.
Open my back.
Envoy's on hold. Okay.
It's a big front of rotation, boys.
Yeah.
We're getting back to P1.
Yeah, I'm coming back. I'm getting out as well, bro. I'm holding top green. You might have a streak. Try one of you save a drop just in case I have a streak.
I should get it.
Low green. I'm staying here, bro.
I have a gate, okay?
Yeah. You in green, Toby? Yeah, I'm in. They're top. Low. They're playing for me here. I've some low green for you.
One's gate now.
They're not same low green. Okay, they're going P1. I need a gate. I have green.
Give me low green now.
Trophy gate.
Landing gate. Two
on gate. I got one, two, I need help. I have help.
Front intel me.
HyDra's second hard point, but the focus immediately on in towards courtyard as the trades come out 2 for 2. Toronto looking and sounded calm in the comms, but still, even though they're out slaying and out fragging the Thieves, the lead continues to persist for LA. They're doing a really nice job of keeping their focus on the objective.
Yeah, really trying to make a very big argument against LA Thieves being the 3rd ranked team as far as break percentage on a map like Fortress Hardpoint. This hardpoint itself here at 3 has been big for Toronto Ultra. LA Thieves still have members to try to contest this. Octane's going to swing wide. Had some assistance there from Envoy on the back end of things. So 15 seconds should be chalked up here for Ultra, trying to set themselves up for the rotation over towards P4. But the majority of them are spawning over on the side of maps closer towards P1. That's all thanks to Drazah. He's already top rails.
Yep, a huge first blood for Drazah as they rotate over. He's going to be in a little bit of trouble, though. Not a lot of help nearby. Just how long can you keep it going individually? Gets a second. Kenny, not having the greatest of games, could be a huge playmaker right here as he tries to work around the back, see if they can force Toronto to spawn out. The Ultra very aware of the situation, kind of playing anchor in a more reserved way up top in the second floor. Pinstripe goes to kill feed. Kenny on the way and no turned away. HyDra, an impressive double as he goes to 19 and 14. Drazah trying to force something, but ultimately not going to get anything at all. Toronto clean things up, and this may be their best chance to get this back to level terms.
The shoe is quite literally on the other foot. Now you got Scrap up top rails. HyDra's down low, trying to soak up as much time. He just needs to stay alive. I mean, Kleenex was trying to at least find that double. He'll go 1 for 1 for the time being, but it sets up Envoy to potentially contest top rails, just over flooding Ultra setup with their numbers that Thieves are able to find for themselves. That's a crucial 15 seconds, but the rotation over towards 5 again is going to be held by Ultra. Can they hold on?
Late stages of this map, Thieves continue to find a way to bounce back amidst a ton of adversity on some of these setups that Toronto's put together. How about that for Envoy? Lots of damage to assist Drazah, and then cleans up CleanX right in front of him. Long range shots from Drazah, looking to try to ambitiously take Ultra from bottom maps. Not gonna work out. Kenny thinking he's got the green light to possibly dissuade this Ultra setup, but no, not to be. Envoy stunned front of the hard point, can't quite get through. Team nade though comes out, leaves CleanX by himself. He's only watching the cross, but a stun placed nicely does allow an opportunity for Drazah to get eliminated. The hard point stays neutral.
And finally lost to CleanX top stables though, and that allows LA Thieves to start working their way through the open archway and maybe try to start taking a look at some of this time. Octane is just gonna see HyDra run right past him, so that's gonna be a nice little 3-piece for Octane as he snaps the scrap. Looking for another player over by P1, won't be able to find it, but that was a crucial moment of time for LA Thieves to deny the Ultra members so much more time off of P5. Will maintain their 20-point lead going into the third and final set.
Now Kenny with attack in hand. A key double just as we rotate back over towards the first hard point. Focus, thinking that Toronto's going to come around the back. Their spawn still, though, on the right side of the minimap. The only one actually hitting this round is CleanX. Drazah scouts him out. Kill is good. This is where Thieves could really put this one a touch out of reach, but Toronto from the front are starting to find eliminations that they need. No one for Thieves can actually stay inside the hard point. Trophy system down. Spam shots for Envoy are good. Spawn's also out at the moment, so Envoy's got to do it himself, and he's good for it. The double comes through. 32 and 22 for Envoy. Knows he's got players around him, but help has arrived in the form of Octane, who gets not just 2, but maybe almost the 3rd. Damage is enough to allow the trade to come through quickly, and Drazah will have a chance to continue building this LA lead.
Trades are fine. Gotta tell us to take a look at the rotation over towards new. Scrapz playing for the future. 36 and 27 for Scrap. Still trying to fight for some of that jump time there at P1. 232 and counting up for LA Thieves. Whether Ultra like it or not, they gotta chalk it. Play for a couple exits. 3 for 1 goes the kill feed. Can that allow Envoy to stay alive at the P1 cannons? HyDra more than aware of it. He's pressing up further forward. P2's about to pop.
191, 234. Toronto in position for P2. Numbers not quite able to get the kills though, so now Thieves can actually try to flip this from the middle of the map. CleanX realizing the threat is on the way. Scrap in the back, needs to anchor it up, but only can take down 1. Inside the hard point though, Toronto still win the battle. Inside at 32 and 26. I mean, Toronto is slaying, but they're still having a real tough time keeping themselves alive on the objective. Envoy for double, predicted by Insight, and the help from HyDra is good. A chance for Ultra to hold and get this back to level.
You just gotta hold this and then win a couple gunfights and then maybe push through the double arches, but LA Thieves still want to close it out here. Drazah's able to at least find 2. It sets up Scrap as well as CleanX to clean house as Scrap finds 3 on the back end. 42nd kill for Scrap. Now you gotta just bull rush your way over towards P3.
It's tough though because Thieves can technically contest and maybe still win it on ult. No, not anymore. The gunfight won on ult by CleanX allows a chance for Toronto to rotate. It's going to be to about 248 to 224. Thieves are going to have 1 chance maybe to put together a solid break. If they do not find these opening kills, things will have to come in pretty piecemeal. Kenny gets the first. Envoy up top tested by HyDra, but he can't quite find the kills. Thieves trying to make their way around the back, but no. Ultra find a way to lock things up initially. 1 more member spawns into place. Insight in trouble. It's all just down now to CleanX. 244, 248, but the break is good. And Thieves, despite Kenny nearly going double neg, will still come out the victors of map number 1.
Oh, look at Octane with a smile on his face as well. He was frying. He was setting up Envoy for continuous amounts of success. And that's when we go back and we really have to look at the turning point there at the second set of hard points when Ultra had the rotation going in towards P4, when they broke P4, and then also had the rotation going over towards P5 and got contested for such a long time. This is the success rate that is the Thieves on a map like Fortress Hardpoint. They do such an annoyingly good job at putting their ARs in such key positions to cut down SMG players upon rotation and keeping these players out of the hardpoint itself. 38 and 31 for Octane with 4,500 damage. Like, come on. Yeah, Scrap had a great hardpoint, 43 and 31. He was trying to meet the pace that Envoy was laying down with a 5K damage, but it just was not enough for the overall teamwork that was the LA Thieves. Like you said, Alan, Ultra, they definitely outslayed, but Thieves definitely played more fundamental hardpoint.
You want the hard-hitting fact here, Proper?
Hit me.
Scrap just earned the overall respawn kill total for record
for the loss.
43 total kills in the loss. On the other side, Kenny just secured the most respawn deaths. No one had gotten to 40 this year. He ends with 42 and Thieves still win the map. Look, say what you want about the individuals on either side. That takes a ton of discipline for LA Thieves to be outslayed that badly and still come away a winner on a tough map like Fortress Hardpoint. Big shout out to Tim, our stats guy, for hitting us with that one. That is a unbelievable statistic on either side.
For a photo finish there at the end of the map number 1, I can only imagine how many records might honestly be broken, especially how close we are to champs in between some top 5 squadrons here. Losing map 1 might not be the end-all be-all when you're looking at it from Toronto's perspective. The hard points might have been pretty tough, but you really got to have some answers when it comes down to search and destroy as we take a little bit further in-depth look as far as the stats are concerned. Again, I mean, Envoy, Octane, 1.29, 1.23 respectively. Yeah, Kenny can drop a 0.43. I guess it's just fine and dandy so long as Octane's finding 3 pieces all off the damage and Envoy's there to follow up soon after. Yeah, Thieves, Hardpoint, looking pretty strong.
Yeah, that core trio of Drazah, Envoy, and Octane were just getting so much work done. I mean, think about how many times Toronto was walking away 4 for 1 in the trades. Almost full team ups, it felt like, on rotation, which would lead you to believe that, oh, Toronto's going to put together nearly a perfect hold, you think. But no, not the case. Thieves continue to find a way in, negate a lot of the kill pressure that was really kind of amounting to them feeling like they were going to be down and out. But again, you look for potential champion factors and monikers, and being able to bounce back against adversity is one of the things you always look for, and Thieves have definitely shown that over the course of not just that last map, but over the course of the last calendar year as we look closer and closer to the end of the Modern Warfare 2 title.
Yep, few things I guess are absolutely certain when it comes down to it. Death taxes and Thieves popping off at the end of the year for sure. But I mean, hey, there's still a lot more COD that has to be played, especially from the Thieves. You already know you're guaranteed champs, but now it's really going to be crunch time to be able to really flesh out a lot of these maps that you've been losing in these best of 7s and these best of 5s, and just make sure that you truly are the strongest team. I mean, they are the #1 team as far as vibes. I feel like these guys are never not laughing. They're always having a good time, and why wouldn't you ahead of this embassy search and destroy where you are currently 5-1?
That is the big story point. Almost felt like maybe a missed opportunity there for Toronto into the Fortress Hardpoint, because yeah, going into this search, this is a very tough task. Now, Toronto, no strangers to this map mode combo, but again, the success that Thieves have had over the course of the last, we'll say the last couple of months now, has largely been by way of getting an opportunity to play your best search map, right? I mean, a lot of these have come through because of that. They played this against Minnesota most recently, and they looked good on it, beating the Røkkr 6-1. So if you're the Thieves, you're thinking 2-0 up. Otherwise, for Toronto, it's, you know, what can we put together here to try to play one of our not necessarily most rehearsed maps here for the search to get this back to a 1-1 count.
It's just interesting how the track record kind of fleshes itself out for Embassy Search and Destroy for Toronto Ultra. Again, it's as far as a long-time series record is concerned, Search and Destroy, you see it on your screen. I mean, 4-4, first blood percentage, round win percentage, all of it's going to favor the Thieves. And the only time that they lost it, they got blown out of the water by Atlanta at Major 3. They lost at 06. You would never expect that, especially looking at the stats. But yesterday, that's fair. It's a great argument there, buddy. But I think that for Toronto, we can even look as far as most recency for yesterday. It's just how well they were manipulating the map, catching these timings in the middle of the map, look towards HyDra and Kleenex to really catch LA Thieves off guard if they can even do so. These stuns and nades and everything else in between need to be on point for the Thieves.
Their performance yesterday versus Seattle still had them not really finding a lot of first bloods, but just doing a nice job making sure the bomb could never get planted. I imagine Thieves have done their homework and realized that HyDra very regularly is going to try to play you through mid-alley. Envoy first blood onto aforementioned HyDra, and that leads to an opportunity for Envoy just to walk on over in towards B for maybe an early opportunity to plant.
His old Pistons is going to be Octane. He's got the boomstick all the way over by Potts. In sight. Yeah, that's not a game of whack-a-mole. That is evidently fun for anybody involved, but it should allow Envoy to maybe try to plant the bomb. He will get it and get out with his life.
Or not. Thought for sure he was going to be good for it, but how about the cleanup for Toronto through mid? Drazah now the last one standing. Just going to have to check this defuse, and well, it's a Semtex well placed by Kleenex, and this was the story that we saw versus Seattle yesterday, right? 3v4 situations that Toronto just looks so good at when it comes to completely controlling that B side of the map, and that happens once again, even though they lose HyDra in the opening moments.
like that instant download that Toronto get all off of being first blooded. From there on out, it's just really quick snap transitions on where a lot of these players are located at for the Thieves or even Seattle yesterday to find the trades required and just deny so much space so quickly. Once they understood that Octane's all the way back, sniping back pots, they knew that the bomb was obviously planted. They had to deal with Envoy. He doesn't get out for free. And even off of Hixie's death, it was more than enough information for Toronto to collect and win the round, even with a man disadvantage.
Yep. Here we go. Ultra looking to get aggressive quickly over the top, but no, Thieves not going to be bamboozled by this. It's two different members that are spamming down the cross, and okay. That's about as clean as a defensive start you could possibly ask for, but Hixie and Scrap take care of the defenders right on top of B, and now, of course, Scrap is going to know that, okay, if there are two members that are shooting at us on the cross, I'm going to be under threat here on the back as both Thieves members have flipped the map around.
That's how it's about to run out for Scrap, though. Unbeknownst to him, Envoy was on the other side of the doors there at Pots. Now, Kenny and Envoy, they're forced to play so distant from one another. And Hixie might just give Kenny the engagement that he's looking for with this late wrap over towards A.
This is still such a trepidatious moment, though, and now Kenny will be figured out. Problem is, losing Scrap means that Hixie just is having to default to playing for the post plant in a 1v2. He did one of these yesterday, but that was on the B site. Dead silence at the ready. Slowly clears out laundry. No doors open. Stun comes out. Envoy gives him the battle, but Hixie takes the win. Now to the 1v1. It's Kenny on the other side. After a disappointing opening hardpoint, can he find a way to lock things up? No, it's Hixie just completely takes him by surprise. And Ultra once again see another 1v2 from Charlie Hixie.
Feels like old times, doesn't it? Last year in Vanguard with Hixie and Scrap in 2v odd situations, playing for Ultra Academy. Now doing it on the big stage here for Toronto. Hixie with the clutch, popping dead silence after the bomb gets planted off the information that Scrap was able to convey for him where he died from. Kenny was all the way on the backside of the Godheady. So for Hixie, by proxy, you would probably have to assume that middle of the map, if not in through around servers, is where Envoy might be located at. And he finds them both, just juggling the timing back and forth. 2-0 lead for Ultra here in the search.
Scrap on the cross. Doesn't quite connect on the Drazah. Envoy also had the cross in play. CleanX thinking about toggling in towards denying this plant. Not going to work out. This is what Hixie does, though. Tries to work through mid-map. Envoy expected it. Doesn't make a difference. Scrap also wins a pistol gunfight on the other side of the map. So we get to a 2v2 as the trades come out. Drazah will collect the bomb and immediately go for the plant. Insight looking for Octane, and, well, he will get the information he was looking for, but the problem is Drazah's gotten the plant.
Scrap needs to make the play going up through the middle of the map. Has he been able to find another weapon? That's got to be the question. Gets in an immediate gunfight versus Drazah, and that's just no fun for anybody involved. Drazah now finding 3 in the round, looking for the ace. Loses his teammate, 27 seconds.
Insight should know that he's going to have contact with Drazah around this bomb site at some point in time. Dealing with the post-plant situation, topside office. Insight drops. Oh, but the shots clean from Drazah. Doesn't miss a bullet. And no way, not going to happen this time for the 1v2. LA get on the board.
And Drazah gets the entire ace to boot. I mean, just absolutely crazy trades, especially for the positioning that he found himself in the middle of the map, because I honestly thought that Hixie and Scrap, with those first two kills that did come through, that Hixie was going to be able to find the next transitional gunfight on a Drazah. Drazah denies. He calls round. Finding those 2 kills, getting the bomb in a safe enough position, and just isolating these players one after another. Drazah coming to this round on a 4 spree, breaks up the round count there for Toronto when they opened.
Opening snipe. Oh, it's going to feel bad. Octane looked like he connected onto CleanX center mass. Not to be. Drazah pops up. Little jump shots will work out. Bomb not planted. CleanX does secure the trade, collects the bomb, and immediately starts to go for the plant. But the problem is, once again, LA flipped the map around, and that immediately dissuades the plant from coming through. Scrap is under immense pressure, just trying to keep his life, catch somebody off guard. But as he tries to cross, Octane says no fly zone, picks him out of midair, and it's all down to CleanX for the 1v3. Shots to Octane, initially decent, but he lives and will also earn the regen as everything resets.
CleanX double weapon setup has a lot to do, so much ground to cover. I don't know if he saw Envoy up top. Even if he did, doesn't matter. Tough gunfight in the middle of the map towards top paper. And LA Thieves, again, just having Octane in that positioning, just completely denies so much space trying to cross back over towards tennis courts. And that's great information to have for yourself, especially confirming for Drazah, like, hey, it's a fast plan over towards B. You saw where Drazah was located at, where he found that kill to stop the plan from coming through initially. And when the map got flipped, when you called it, so much doubt got considered into the brain of CleanX. He had no idea where to go. His teammate was stuck top paper. Maybe he could rotate over towards A. Wasn't the case at all. His teammates were dropping all around him.
I guarantee you next time we're on a Toronto offensive round, they will be throwing nades towards that bottom side at A. But now, into the defense. CleanX gonna step out of orange for first time. Hicksy, well, okay, hi there. Sees Envoy just burst through the doors. Inside able to find another elimination onto Drazah, leaving Kenny by himself. Into a 1v3, and no, CleanX just completely ruins through palms and tennis, and that's enough for Ultra to take a quick defense. And now we can start to think about, does Ultra try to do something to deny this Thieves push through that they've been able to pull off on the defensive side?
I wonder if it could just be as simplistic as maybe Scrap going over towards the sniper and maybe trying to go for the heat check. I mean, if there's anybody to do it, it's probably going to be Scrap. This guy definitely loves his good old egotistical chows, but I think that it's going to be another thing that you want to play this fundamentally sound. Again, that round did end in by way of brute aggression through the middle of the map. That has been Hicksy and CleanX's kind of MOs defensively. But on offense, you really got to try to pick your poison in adaptations. Going back over towards B. It's being watched again, but CleanX gets across.
This feels like a misplay. I mean, Toronto's going for the Honey Badger, they don't care approach, but once more, it's just that cross becomes the product of first blood. CleanX does take it to a 3v3, but once again, look at Envoy's position, number 8 in white. He can foil the post plant by playing up top. CleanX up the ladder, no, doesn't quite beat the timing, and in the same breath, Envoy deals with Scrap, leaving it all down to Insight once again.
All the way into the backside of side admin. He's got an AR, doesn't even have a trophy system, he's got a tac. Maybe he's got a dream, but I don't think that dream involves this 1v3. It's going to be a real tough battle for Insight. We'd almost have to get individual 1v1s out of Drazah, Octane, and Envoy. If you can tell by the camera, my voice is a good luck, have fun moment.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Well, does take down Octane. Hold on a second. Plenty of time. Problem is, Trophy Carrier will be making a lot of noise as he tries to collect the bomb. Fun with doors featuring Insight. Drazah still aware as he's playing up top. Cross comes through. Envoy long range and will secure the final damage needed to tally the elimination. And boy, I'll tell you, that's now 3 defensive rounds in a row where Thieves have just gotten away with getting behind Ultra for free.
That's a little bit too easy, isn't it, Alan? I mean, when you spawn defensively in for aBeZy, you have this entire parking lot side at your disposal. Octane is always more or less good for going over there, whether he gets the snipe or the damage. It's just good confirmation on where all these Ultra players are located at. Envoy can't be allowed to get admin control that freely. He either has to come through with an AR, watching that line of sight, over towards the parking lot side, stuns all the way from bathrooms over towards Xbox. Just something. Deny some map space if you're aggressively hitting towards B.
Kenny will be left in spawn to watch any potential early nonsense from Ultra in case they're planning on taking a page out of Thieves' book. But no, this time it's Ultra playing very reserved. With that opening pick onto Envoy, who was, by the way, just kind of on a solo mission. Uh-oh, Scrap's got to look at this. Drazah, though, I think has seen the glint of the sniper rifle. He says, not interested. Let's just carry out this 3v3 a different way.
Yep. No, thank you. I do not like what you're selling. Kenny was also able to find a trade on Hicksy. Remember, he was that sole player that was all the way to the backside of admin. So he pushed up all the way over by the A-bomb. How much is your spidey senses tingling there if you're CleanX? But the push is still over towards B. Another snipe in the round for Scrap.
And Kenny, who was trying to lurk in towards A, does get figured out. So it all rests with Drazah, 1v3. Dead silence in play. Gonna split right down the gut. And unfortunately, CleanX gets absolutely obliterated. Doesn't matter in the end, but that will live in your head a little bit after that little turn on.
I'm gonna lose sleep over that gunfight tonight. I can promise you that much. Here's some replays of Scrap with these snipes. Pixel perfect. Test this man's reaction time. We've been watching it for a long time. You and I, Shift.
Yep.
And of course is able to find that inevitable trade on Drazah after his teammate quite literally got spun on. And that was a well-adapted round. I will say that much for Toronto. Again, playing very respectful, giving up a lot of space in the middle of the map, waiting for the challenges to come to them.
Okay, here we go. Scrap will finally get out of admin and try to watch this backside cross inside. Also sniping over the top of this play, and CleanX gets some blessed hip fire while queuing up a stun. So nades look good. Scrap gets one through mid. And now it's all onto Octane, and this is quickly a 1v3. He does not have a lot of space nor time to work with as the bomb is already planted. Nope.
It's not gonna happen. It's like you're going up against so many different snaky positions, head glitches. Was that inside down yonder with a sniper rifle as well? And even for the Thieves defensively, I mean, they're sitting there probably saying the same thing that we are. It's like, surely this time you changed something. It's still the aggressive hit over towards B. They at least scrap back lot to at least watch the flank if it did come through. But that was all settled just with having one player kind of spam from the Xbox side and then everybody else just crumbling around him. Yeah, bless Hipfire, whatever may say you for CleanX. He's been that player when it comes down to these B executes for Ultra to get over by sign and ingress into orange.
Oh, how about Ultra? Now on map point, and this time they will commit 2 members to playing around the flank. Scrap very responsible for catching anybody on rotation in towards B, but interestingly enough, Ultra throw a couple of nades, I think, around the back and don't actually commit to playing on the long flank. They may have completely bamboozled Thieves here, who were thinking that this was going to be a flank play. Envoy's committed to getting in towards B, but now all of a sudden, Hixie with that silent sneaks around, and how about the curveball from Ultra? 3v2 situation. Envoy stuck in stairs. Drazah panicking to know where exactly Ultra members are in the back, and he has made sound cues which Hixie picks up on. It all rests with Envoy for a 1v3. First one happens cleanly. And everything will reset as he's got time to play with.
Oh. Envoy looking like Neo in the Matrix, is dodging the 50 cal bullet. That silence is about to run out. He might find some pretty good timing here.
He's in a good position in case anyone from Ultra tries to double back towards B. They've isolated themselves. Scrap is deep, inside a bit closer, and they're predicting that it's going to be a B play. There's the isolation, but no Envoy cannot finish off the kill. So now he goes into the true 1v2, and he's going to take it to eliminations. He's not even going to bother with the plan. He needs to be able to take both these players down quickly, and Scrap has read the play. He backs out. Doesn't matter. His teammate gets the kill, and how about Ultra? In back-to-back days, they find a way to take the embassy searches.
Yep, wouldn't you know it? Coming through on Embassy Search and Destroy, a map mode combination that has not been too friendly historically all year long for Ultra, but recency bias is definitely something you could buy into for the Ultra camp. They are looking great in their past 2 times on this map mode combination. Once against Seattle yesterday, and even better versus the Thieves today. Able to showcase a lot of good adaptations in playing against the strengths that were the Thieves. I mean, through so many rounds, the Thieves were getting away with highway robbery, with Envoy getting inside of admin for free, Octane getting a lot of damage with the snipe, yet didn't have the flashiest KD ratio at 3 and 8, but I mean, just to negate all the damage that Octane was finding continuously, it was, again, Hixie for the entry. 8 and 8 was dying a lot with the bomb. That's almost what you expect when you're flying across the line of sight. That is that Xbox line, but Scrap was there to pick things up. The AR is absolutely electric, and then CleanX really turned things up in the latter half of that map number 2.
And just comparing today to yesterday for Ultra, much better when it comes to collecting first bloods and holding numbers advantages. It felt like a lot of their round wins yesterday came in 2v4s or 1v2 situations. Not so much the case today, as Thieves now all of a sudden find themselves in a 1-1 with an El Asilo control to come. Ooh, it's going to be a saucy one. Don't you go anywhere, friends. We're in our final matchup. It is the monster match of the evening. Thieves looking to assert their dominance, but Ultra looking to improve, put up a fight. We go to El Asilo after this. Welcome back there, friends, family, and all you crazy COD fans. We have got a good one so far. Toronto, LA, stuck in a 1-1 map series count, and we're going to an El Asilo control. And look, both teams have loved to see a hotel come through for the control. That much we know, especially after what Toronto did to Seattle yesterday. It was open, but LA choose to go to a different location, and maybe some that was influenced off of what they saw yesterday from Toronto.
Let's not forget, I mean, even as far as the control is concerned, LA have gotten rid of hotel control quite a bit, albeit picking it 12 times, 63% of the time they play control. It's been mostly over towards hotel, but you can't fault them for wanting to come to El Asilo control. Let's not forget, too long ago, this did win them a chip at the end of the day. So, if you are the Thieves, it would be nice to be able to see some consistency in between. El Asilo control has not been the most friendly map mode combination for the Ultra side.
Well, here we go. See how things go. Toronto holds a bit of an edge statistically on both the defensive and offensive sides when it comes to win percentage on either. But LA will start on the offense first, take their time here out of spawn, just kind of feel things out, see what Ultra wants to try to get away with, and see if they can punish. And so far, so good. First 2 kills allow Thieves a chance to get on to B early.
Third in attack win percentage. And the way you got to do it mostly through El Asilo, it's the opening breaks. If you can convincingly do the opening breaks, you should be able to see 60 seconds pretty quickly. But the returning gunfight's that much better for Ultra. They push away LA Thieves away from the B control zone. We'll take their virtues now over towards A, especially with Octane top tower.
It's almost a small little bit of sleight of hand right there. Look at us, we're going B. Never mind. We're going to put Octane at top tower. Good luck getting back to A if you're Toronto. Second tick on the way with the double stack from both Drazah and Envoy, and Ultra may just chalk this. Yeah, you have to kind of respect the fact that Octane's up top, but now that he drops, hold on a second, Ultra can actually just flood on through. Drazah the only one to survive the play, and how about that clear from Ultra? A key pick to Octane opens the door.
Yeah, it definitely always looks like they're about to chalk it, but more than aware are Ultra that they have to deal with Octane top tower. As you say, once he falls, the rest of the push comes through from the top cat, especially over by the rock mound. So now the map more or less stabilized. Kenny's gonna stop the clock again around 42 seconds back over towards A.
Oh, Kenny needs to step off the zone for a moment and does keep his life while giving his teammates a chance to reinforce. Drazah still holds the clock at 39 seconds. Progress being made. An extra 60. Looking good. Ultra this time not going to hit the trigger and try to retake. And with that, the Thieves will get the extra 60 and they reduce the life count just to a 1 advantage for Ultra.
Still so much to do, though. I mean, off of the A control zone, you should be aware, if you are Thieves, that all the spawns are still back to Pride Rock. That's going to be a tough gunfight, whether or not Kenny wants it or not. It's going to be versus Hicksy up top. He's down to 30 HP, has to give it up for now. Trades are going to continuously be good for Ultra to maintain presence here at B.
They need to get Kenny out of this position. Stun comes through. Kenny backs off. Still holds his life. Key play by Kenny as the rest of Thieves start to stack up and make their way through that very dangerous soccer field. Kenny now flipping the script, checks down onto Insight. Last player left for Ultra's defense. Big one onto Kenny, but the problem is there's a double stack now on the way. Can Ultra get back and assist this enough? Drazah cleaning out top party. Will drop eventually, but does make much of a difference because Thieves are still on. Second tick of progress is getting blocked, and the third, well, that will have to wait a little while longer as Ultra eventually get the regain.
Kenny's still here, actually looking to make an argument, and Drazah will find Scrap from range. So now Drazah's going to start pushing up past the football field and just flies into CleanX's face, takes him down. Next is up going to be inside top AC. He will find one. Hicksy Semtex will clean up the second. The map will remain stabilized. The only player pushed up for the Thieves is Octane.
He's got to create a play somewhere, you think, with 38 seconds remaining. Hicksy looking to go aggressive around the back of this offensive play. Killing a Drazah, good. Kenny also drops just in front of Hicksy's line of sight, but the Thieves that are forward still hold an opportunity for the offense to move. CleanX takes care of one. Now it's just down to, can you find the tally onto Envoy? Good prediction by CleanX, gets the double. And now it's down to the last chance for Thieves to touch the B zone. Kenny gives up his position by taking shots through the old captured A zone, but he will be the last opportunity for the Thieves to touch. Good gunfight win as he tries to make his way over through tools. 5 seconds on the clock. He's got to go, got to touch. And with only the last couple of lives remaining, he will not likely get there in time. Toronto will hold the defense, but a lot of tick progression secured by the Thieves.
Yeah, total 5 segments will be captured for the Thieves. Toronto going to be happy that at least they narrowly got away with a defense round win regardless. You felt like that Thieves' best shake at maybe trying to convert that B control zone, which is how long Kenny was alive over top kitchen, bottom lockers. The guy was everywhere. That the only time when he finally got cut down is because he was trying to create more space, getting behind the cliff path. But the moment that Kenny goes down, all the focus focus for Toronto can then refocus over towards the front, maintain presence top kitchen, and make sure that that building was at least contested for Thieves to never really get numbers on their side of the map.
Now Ultras go. See what they can do on the offense. Opening defensive stun actually does kind of slow down Ultra's approach toward trying to get to A early. HyXy will still try to burst on towards site, but Drazah not going to be denied. Gets all 3 Ultra members that try to work their way onto A early, and now Kenny can actually move past top tower and start to force Ultra to spawn top right side of the minimap.
This is where things can start getting dangerous. You got to deal with Kenny very, very quickly, and before Inside even knows that Kenny's back here, he loses his life. Elsewhere is still a battle for Drazah up top admin. Tough gunfight for Scrapz. Thought he had a head glitch, but Drazah's got the Beamerson on in this map number 3. 5-3 now for Drazah. Looking for kill number 6. A cruise missile would be potent on a map mode combination like LSU look control.
Thieves looking indomitable here defensively early. HyXy sneaks on towards the A zone, but he is the only Ultra member here. Drazah just hoping he can find some information. There's the intel onto Scrap, but no, not going to win the gunfight. Now all of a sudden Kenny has to make a decision. Does he contest? Does he give it up? And well, he kind of gets stuck in the gray area of being kind of in between both. And that leads to the first tick of progress. Double stack in for Toronto. Octane trying to clear space. Gets a good look at HyXy. Can't find the kill. Scrap trying to pick it up, and well, one, as that will lead to a full 60 now for Ultra as they capture A.
And Kenny's going to be playing for a couple exits. 60 seconds out on towards the board. 21 lives on 2 different sides. But Toronto Ultra, nobody immediately inside of top green. So Envoy's going to maintain his position inside of tools for now. Also gets the better of HyXy. Immediately traded as he was trying to pop dead silence. But any kill is going to be good. Trades galore will mean that LA Thieves can start chipping away at this clock.
Full hit from Ultra. Coming down B alleyway. Scrap just continues to find gunshots that you don't think he's got an angle at. Octane for the trade. 3v3 towards the zone. CleanX stunned. Can't really make a play on towards the zone itself. Help from Insight. Denied by Drazah, who's having himself a whale of a game so far. 14 and 11. And as Octane cleans up CleanX, now it's down to under 60 seconds for Ultra to start to get some progress over towards B.
Not really worried about the lives. You're just trying to get these kills so that way you can get out from your spawn. Envoy pushed up over by the house and is just denying Ultra any exit from their base. That's going to force them to spawn parallel over by the A control zone. It's already been captured. And now you're pushing into the waiting hands of Kenny. Envoy still able to find 2 more kills. 37 seconds left in the round.
This Thieves defense coming across as menacing. Drazah now on 4 in a row. 16 and 11. Give him the fifth. Tries to step away. Oh my goodness. Nearly goes to the drop shot and takes down Insight, but the killing spree comes to an end. Ultra, maybe a chance for one last touch here. 20 seconds to play, but there's only 3 members that are still up. And as Drazah continues to tally kill after kill, Ultra's chances at putting any significant approach towards B start to dwindle, and Thieves are looking good to hold Ultra just to the A zone, and barely a footstep made on towards B in this defensive round as Thieves dominate.
Oh my goodness, did they ever. I mean, how annoying is it, honestly? That at that point where you're just probably looking at the KDs, you're looking at the stats, even from Ultra's POV, and you're just like, okay, well, at least we're finding a couple trades, but where's Drazah? And by the time you were even trying to think where Drazah's at, now you also got to be worried about Envoy. LA Thieves, what they've been able to do on this map mode combination in recent history has just been berating enemy teams in their base just on 2 different fronts. If it's Drazah and Kenny over by the A control zone, it's going to be Envoy constantly getting pressure inside that house. You have one of the greatest safety nets as an AR with Octane overwatching the play.
Huge advantage for the Thieves through the first 2 rounds. Does require Ultra to put together just as hefty of a defense. And the first couple of kills are solid. Envoy up top trying to chase down HyXy. At least sees that he's snuck through. So that kind of alerts the rest of the Thieves off spawn to keep an eye out for him, and the kill comes through very swiftly. 2 for 1 the opening exchange, and actually LA's got a lot of room to work with here at mid. Envoy is just pushed straight through, but HyXy off spawn tallies the kill, and with that Ultra's defense starts to make a move forward.
And Kenny down at 2 HP. Can't necessarily push too far forward, and Insight off of the respawn since losing his life top tower will find that kill onto Kenny. Now you can start pressing up if you are Scrap. Inside of admin, gets the better of Drazah immediately. Nobody pushing for the Thieves to try to find that trade. HyXy's still trying to cause a little bit more distress around the back. He gets found out, but all of these trades are going to be so good for the Thieves. Nobody for Ultra is top tower to try to immediately stop this.
Quick kills out. CleanX last one to stand for Ultra's defense here on the A zone. First tick of progress looking good. The second is going to be quick to follow with a 3-man stack. And Ultra are not going to have a chance here to put together that same setup that we saw in round 1 of their defense, to where they could just flood and swarm at the same time. And yeah, this time they will have to concede the extra 60 seconds. 23 plays 20, Ultra still with a life lead, but Thieves starting to cook with some gas here as they're finding the exit kills.
Yep, sure are. And now you can start putting players all the way over towards the flank. Kenny's back towards his devious and most mischievous actions, and that is the very long flank. It's going to take all of his dead silence before he gets into this engagement versus Scrapz. Doesn't even need it. Envoy beans him over by the B zone. 3-player strong Thieves are here.
Now Kenny can be a distraction here at Pride Rock. Long range shots clean from Kenny.
Wow.
And that's going to be the second tick of progress in. 3-man stack on the way. Could anyone from Ultra even get here to even look at the zone? A couple of kills come through, and oh my goodness, the cleanup is decent. Kenny still trying to hold his life, but no, cannot quite find the final bit of progress needed to take the offense with control. So now it's down to, can you find a way to get back on, tally the rest of that third tick of progress, and go up 2-1.
Scrapz having to wait for the regen before he can start depleting this B zone progress even more so. HyDra off the respawn was trying to get behind enemy lines. Kenny, so much wiser, is going to take him down. The initial kills just absolutely erupt for Toronto Ultra. Insight's going to find 2, and now you can start taking a little bit more map space away. 14 plays up against 2, 45 seconds remaining.
CleanX up top, looking to stay on the offensive side of the map. HyDra, couple of shots out, will force the hand of the Thieves. Insight still behind this play. Scrapz also a bit caught playing on the soccer wall. And as Thieves clear out the interior of the building, now it's just down to trying to get onto the zone itself. Scrapz going to be in a lot of trouble here. Needs some help, and he gets it. CleanX cleans out Drama. And with that, Scrapz takes his focus forward. Clean kills coming out for Scrapz on 4. Now keep in mind, though, the ticks of progress that have already been tallied. Toronto very well may get this round, but they are going to have back-to-back offenses if we get to a 5th.
Yep, you're not wrong. That's going to be 10 segments should the clock just fully deplete or the lives get cut down, whatever is more convenient for Ultra here in the final few seconds. Yeah, it's just going to wait inside of billiards. Late timing, doesn't matter. Everybody's dropped around him. Octane, 1v odd? No, not going to happen. All right. It almost feels like that the B zone defensively control for Ultra is almost like a cannon. It's starting to run out of lives. And the amount of times that they've just been coming over here and just stopping that progress just at a split second before it fully gets tacked over is just so crazy. The amount of ways that they were able to just fully erupt out from tools and find 3 dead just so quickly for Ultra, required, but still silly nonetheless. As Ultra will hold on, but as you say, Alan, it's going to have to be back-to-back offenses if they want to take a massive swing map mode combination here in the 3.
Toronto happens to be the number 2 ranked attacking win percentage team on this map. However, Thieves number 3 on defense. So is it going to be the unstoppable force or the immovable object? CleanX quickly around the back. He may surprise Octane. No, not to happen. He gets the tally, no worries. And a couple of early kills for Thieves allows them a chance to maybe even push a little bit further forward. Scrapz gets his elimination. Good response to Kenny, but gets unfortunate little melee there, and the long-range shots from HyDra not quite good enough to take care of Drazah. Thieves defensively looking good off the break.
And Insight's going to find that trade, but it's all just consolation trades at that because you still got Thieves members in your base. Kenny's all the way over inside of house. Scrapz going to be unfortunately confused as to how Kenny's still going to be able to stay alive. Runs right into the waiting arms of Insight off of the respawn. Just down to 38 seconds through the opening break. LA Thieves have only lost 3 lives.
Envoy in a position to foil. Gets the first, steps away from any further trade. Help from Octane keeps the numbers in place for the Thieves. Scrapz only getting 1 trade is not going to be good enough, and the clock continues to tick down to under 30 seconds. Kenny's got a really good idea on where Scrapz positioned, but a little jump out. Kenny can't quite lock in the shots. Octane on 4. Knows that he's got to keep his life as Ultra starts to send all 4 members forward in towards this A zone. 2 on for the moment. First tick of progress on the way in. Kills also coming through for Ultra. Kenny, though, a double around the back makes things maybe a little bit easier for Drazah to approach. He sees HyDra on the cross on the way in, but does not expect... Oh, my goodness! He didn't expect Scrapz there, but he still gets the shots to connect for the kill. And then Envoy deals with HyDra behind the boxes. Down to 12 seconds, and Ultra... look like they may have to do this in around 5 offenses. Drazah continues to find kills.
So got to deal with Octane and towards the back, down to 18 HP. Gets into another one versus Scrapz. He was going to be the last player to potentially touch the A zone. Comes down to HyDra. Deals with a very weak Octane, but the numbers just too good from the LA Thieves. Yeah, we're going to a round 5, but I would say that that's a pretty convincing defense for the Thieves, again, who are really not historically all too great when it comes down to defenses on aBeZy control. Here's the replay from Drazah. He just gets gifted the barrel stuff down to 80 HP by throwing a nade right into the trophy system. I mean, Scrapz got to be feeling some type of way off of that for sure, but even more so than that, Thieves are absolutely playing with the heat here in this map number 3, really cementing the reason why they were able to take this even off of OpTic Texas.
All right, last chance here for Ultra on their offense, but Thieves have put together 2 straight immensely convincing defenses. Huge swing map in this series between 2 powerhouse teams right now in the CDL. Drazah already gonna get to top tower. Ultra looking to kind of flood from the front. Kenny reads it. Semtex is good. Follow-up shots better on the inside, and Ultra once again come off the break off, not finding a single kill.
Kenny went like 0.64 at the opening hard point. Whatever to me, if you can go 25-19 as he is standing right now, this guy is frying. Only lost a single life so far. There's the second. Drazah will go down top tower. Kenny trying to at least pick things up. That's a force read that gets put to rest. Numbers now here for Ultra. Not necessarily in a position to try to press up further forward, but if you can get players on the zone and deny more space from the Thieves, the 60 seconds could be yours.
Octane dropping almost guarantees the second tick in its own right. Drazah lurking top office. Gets some help from Kenny, who takes care of Scrapz, trying to take away the cross. So now the contest in towards zone just before the third tick of progress can be locked in. Kenny, big gunfight win. No one else for Ultra on at the moment. Stun out. Kenny dealt with. That will be the extra 60 seconds. Thieves with the 1 life lead.
Just a single life lead. Oh, Kleenex gets caught as soon as he was trying to push in bottom lockers. And we saw how good it was when Kenny was able to do that offensively for the Thieves, and Scrapz gonna get cut down trying to get inside of tools, not immediately traded. For Ultra in this moment in time, while the rest of the players are trying to come off a respawn, you need a player like HyDra or anybody to cause ruckus over on this side of the map.
Gunfight win onto Envoy. HyDra still looking to hold his life backside tools. And oh boy, Kleenex has actually gotten around and cleaned out the back van position. So now you've got HyDra on. First tick of progress, looking good for the lock. Octane still playing on the right side. The rest of Thieves spawning up bottom left, trying to make their way on. Scrap flushes out Octane. Second tick of progress now rapidly coming through. This is going to get locked in. Hold on a second. Envoy, it will be scouted out from behind. Have Ultra found a way to do it? Kenny needs to go, and he cannot get there in time. Ultra sneaked their way behind the B's site, get the kills they need, and Thieves, for the first time, they bend defensively. Wouldn't you know it? They end up breaking.
Sound the alarm. We got a robbery of a map number 3, and Ultra just stole that one away. You see the reaction on Drazah's face, just in disbelief. Comparatively for Ultra, it is all strictly business. We always end up saying, both you and I, Shift, it truly does always take one convincing hit when it comes down to control, especially for aBeZy. You go 4 dead around that B control zone, nobody's spawning up immediately. You spawn in Narnia all the way over by your shack, and you are not going to get there in time. You're going to get berated by nades, stuns, bullet fire, whatever it may have you. 32 and 20 for Scrap, almost drops a 4K damage performance on the control. My heavens. I mean, LA Thieves were just about doing everything right. I mean, their last defense that we saw previous to this final round was absolutely stellar. Their opening offense just narrowly missed out on getting that last segment at B, not just the first time, but also the second. You felt like this was Thieves' map to lose, and well, wouldn't you know it, now Ultra have a 2-1 lead in the series.
The thing about it was there's really nothing you could be upset about if you're the Thieves through the first 4 2/3 of this control. And ultimately, when we get down to the nitty-gritty, at the very end, it just simply comes to the fact that HyDra keeps his life inside of tools. A player from Ultra sneaks around the back, takes care of Octane behind Van. And after that, Thieves just continue to spawn back left, and there's just never a route that they can get safely to actually approach the zone, because up until that point, the defense was absolutely perfect.
I mean, they went about a whole minute, 45 seconds maybe, where they only lost 2 lives in the opening round. Ultra, ever resilient. It's just so good at just relentlessly striking all these massive focal points. And it's like we said, you know, what worked so well for the Thieves in their offensive rounds was because they had players like Kenny or Octane, Envoy, whoever was in the best position to try to cause a ruckus over on the defensive side of green. This time it was HyDra, like you said, to cause distress, to always make Thieves think that that was a point of contact that they had to deal with. And by that point, he had a crossfire along with an AR on the back line. Scrap 1.60 KD. The only player to win positive. I mean, Hicksy was keeping pace with him realistically, like for the first round or so. It's just the power that is Scrap, man. I mean, he's an all-star for a reason. Even with 11 assists, he was laying down so much damage. And it's not that he's just doing it by himself. He's also enabling his team to perform well, too.
25 of those kills, by the way, were non-traded. He also tallied a number of assists and update as far as how the series is going for Scrap. Currently 82 and 55 in the series. The highest number of total kills came in a 5-game series. It was Pred with 119. And with an aBeZy hardpoint coming up next, you start to think that maybe this series will continue to be racked full of record-breaking moments, because the opening hardpoint, Scrap had record respawn kills for the L. Kenny had record respawn deaths for the win. So what does this aBeZy have to offer for us here, Proper, is the question we consider.
Well, I think if Scrap drops another 40 bomb and it ends in an L, I think we can go ahead and convincingly say that Scrap is stat padding. No, I'm absolutely kidding. I'm kidding. But I mean, look, when it comes down to the aBeZy hardpoint, I honestly think that records were meant to be broken. And Scrap, we always knew that this guy, when he bounced onto the scene, back in Cold War, he was like playing with like Mochilla back in like 2Ks and stuff like that. Hearing his comms, we knew he was going to be a star. Guy bounces onto the scene. We knew it was only going to be a matter of time. He finds himself on this Ultra squadron along with Hicksy inside and Kleenex, and it has just been time and time again. He has just been showing up and showing out. But this is the Vanguard chance on the other side. That's a Major 4 chance. As far as recency is concerned, LA Thieves should absolutely push us to a map number 5. The stats speak for themselves.
They do, but there is still that first place rank and hold percentage for Toronto. So when it comes to improving upon your win-loss record on this map mode combination, it has to be about winning rotation, getting yourself set up, and not allowing this dangerous and feisty Thieves team to break. A big, tall question looms to if they can actually do it, though. And boy, I'll tell you, if the action over these first couple of days of the Major V Qualifiers haven't enticed you, I imagine Toronto itself will provide the action you're looking for. Hicksy for the first blood, immediately on towards the hard point. Talk about just a commitment to getting onto the OBJ here for Toronto as they follow up with clean kills behind it.
Both these two teams are rather low when it comes down to the rotation percentage on aBeZy hardpoint. 11th ranked for Toronto, 10th for LA Thieves. So it really does feel like whichever team is going to get to these bunny hills first, if they can win the opening gunfights, it'll probably be closer to 60 than it is further away. Recontesting over by P1, 25 seconds still maintain itself for Toronto Ultra to try to stay alive on this parking lot side ahead of the P2 rotation.
Teams, though, don't just neutralize. They also find a chance to get on, earn some time of their own, although Hicksy, quick to follow up, knows he's got Envoy close by. There's the shadow check-in with it. Hicksy wins the gunfight, nearly gets the snap up top to Kenny as well. But as Kenny wins the gunfight, the Thieves have now created a bit of an opportunity, or so you'd think, to work around the storage area and try to find a way to threaten this second hard point from the front. Toronto will spawn favorably behind the hill. Octane trying to dissuade that setup. And as a couple of the kills will turn Ultra's heads around, here comes the hit from the Thieves from the front. Insight in trouble. Tag down to 31 HP. Hicksy, though, off the pitch. No, shut down. Kenny, Drazah clean up the kills, and Thieves find their way into a break.
Yep, and there's that break percentage really coming through for LA Thieves. A lot of time still left to be tacked over when it comes down towards P2. Nice semtex from Scrap. Could be the opening. Is denied immediately from the trades. So some more gunfights to be had here for about 25 seconds or so. Off of a pretty good start for Drazah, 5 and 3. Scrap trying to chase down that kill tally. He's at 7 and 2 now.
Bro, he is not missing shots. Scrap continues to put together some unbelievable gunfights, up to 7 and 3. Ultra will get the scrap time. Thieves gonna be tested here on rotation as Ultra have an exit and an opportunity for Kleenex to kind of play this from the opposite windows. So now all of a sudden the focus for Thieves gets a little bit distracted between two different points of entry. Drazah thinking he could clean up the bridge site, but doesn't expect Insight to be so close, and it'll be Kleenex trying to jump on for the additional time. Octane, though, not to be denied or forgotten about. A big double keeps an opportunity for Thieves to try to reach out.
Yeah, as long as Octane is always hovering around like 0.96, 1.0, you feel like that Thieves can surely do no wrong. Up through the ladder, he'll find a few more. The cleanup is soon to follow, but it's Drazah get the last laugh on the kill towards Kleenex. Maintain this map positioning now for the Thieves as they look to soak up 30 seconds.
That was filthy from Octane. Thieves in, 25 seconds to fight. Ultra still trying to think about contesting this exit. Drazah, though, gets one big elimination, and then Envoy cleans up Hicksy, trying to play through bottom stairs. Scrap time confirmed. Take us to a lead swap and over to admin.
Ultra gonna be here first. Can you hold on? Just because your number 1 hold percentage doesn't mean you're not going against the number 3 break percentage team on this map. Octane's going to be up top. That's going to be a tough gunfight any which way that you look at it. I mean, you were essentially hidden behind the panel if you are HyDra and has some nice beam shots to speak to Drazah. Ultra will be in first for the initial time of 4.
Scrapz with the one trusted to lock down anyone coming through this side staircase doorway. On the opposite side of the map, CleanX, he's trying to walk through the hallways. There's the alarm system. Scrapz tries to turn. No, Kenny gets a double. Does hold off just a touch. CleanX makes safe the halls. Looking for Drazah. Finds him. Gets the gunfight win. Back towards the hill. Our tension goes. Ultra trying to hold from inside the site. Thieves still spawning in the worst possible position. So this hit is limited to just 2 members, and both will drop. Ultra take the first convincing lead with still 20 seconds to soak.
All right, Charlie, we get it. It's not just the aBeZy search and destroy. It's also the aBeZy hardpoint. 12 and 8 now for HyDra, up on the 3 spree. That's going to couple along nicely for CleanX, who finds himself on a 4 spree, but he is down to 35 HP, and it's going to be good damage, especially out of this rotation towards P5. Your FaZe Nems are already flying for Ultra. Just got to somehow find your way into where these Thieves players are located at.
Hardpoint changes. Drazah gets one, but was weakened enough towards Kenny. Unfortunately, tallies a team kill, but Envoy, as he's tested, provides a needed double. Thieves still in a position to reinforce the hard point, but Insight's double kill kind of allows an opportunity for Ultra to get their setup going. And how about Insight runs forward, takes down kill 6 and 7. That will get the break plus the cruise missile. Ultra a chance to blow the lid right off this game.
SMGs typically reign this hill as far as supremacy for weapons, but I mean, Insight would love to make an argument for it. Picks up a FaZe off the ground. Envoy is just about 1 shot. CleanX aware of it, will find that trade. 20 seconds left here at the end of the first set, in Ultra are looking to take a commanding lead over the Thieves.
Oh, they're getting it. HyDra mid-map stops anybody else from LA from even considering a challenge of the scrap time. So we'll exit our first rotation, and it's Ultra up an absolute metric ton. 60-point gap. Scrap, more damage through mid. Goodness, they're just not missing at the moment. LA in a bit of disassembly as they need to start to get together and put some focus on towards these hills because it's starting to get dangerous quick.
Oh, Scrap, he's going to pinch this from down low. Nice read by Envoy to expect Scrap to drop down. We'll take him down from the backside of the bridge. HyDra actually spawns in a position to try to pick it up. We'll take Envoy off the hard point. But the real battle, I mean, Thieves are technically winning. They got players top paper around Laundry as well, trying to maintain presence around the Xbox in the mid lane. That's their avenue to fully work back into this hard point.
ARs for Thieves starting to get the opening gunfight wins, providing some space for the subs to start to make their moves either onto the objective or into some key positions as we head towards rotation. Toronto fighting back. 18 seconds of scrap time. HyDra thinking he can just tally all this up and once again put Toronto in above about 55-point lead. Thieves, though, looking to flood from behind the second hard point. Insight in their way. Scrap also here to contest, and the kills continue to come through. Envoy's the only one to survive, and as the second hard point opens up, Toronto have the numbers to jump on immediately.
Yep, they sure do. I mean, you got Scrap in a position, had him in a position to try to deny anybody from coming around the backside of admin, but completely gets overwhelmed. Pinched through the middle of the map. Kenny, Drazah are here to play. Drazah up on this too, is trying to play on the backside of this Godheady. Cruise missile also being called in at this moment of time. Not going to find any kills, but at least find some players some space to maneuver through the middle of the map into the waiting hands of Envoy. He'll find a 2-piece. These will maintain presence on the hill.
That double for Envoy creates a bit of a buffer. Some breathing room here for the Thieves that are on the hard point, but the nades now start to land as the trophy system gets extinguished. So right back in go Toronto. 20 seconds of scrap time. Envoy trying to put together a finesse hit on Old, and he gets both. Huge play from Envoy. It may seem like marginal time, but this brings LA back to within 30 seconds of a tie. And as they start to approach over towards server, an apt time to take a listen in with the LA Thieves.
Ladder, scrap. Ladder. Come on that ladder, bro. There's 2 there, Zach. I know orange, Zach. I just want to do one. They got gaslight. Yep, you're on top.
Hit orange. Hit him once.
Look at orange.
Yeah. Orange door. He didn't go top.
I got it. He didn't come out. He's still in orange.
Yeah, we entered the shot.
Orange stairs. Stop orange stairs. He's
close to
D1. I pinch gaslight, bro. Give me D1 stairs, I think. No trust.
D1. He's front D1.
Front D1. Hotbox bottom orange. Hotbox looking for P1. Hotbox gotta get one. Hotbox dead.
Alright, this one out.
This one gas. I'm orange right now. On the top, tell me. Get right top.
I'm
coming. In low orange.
Thunder the shot.
Low orange top.
He's P1.
I spawned very close, bro.
I'll see you got P1.
I stunned it.
I tried to set up. One shot. He's on the head.
Heady dead.
That's one more time.
P1 dead. I'm here. One top.
That's good.
Orange again. Orange now.
I can help you.
And orange takes you. He's running out. He's running out.
Yeah, ran me. I didn't hit him.
You gotta play here. On halls with you.
Alright, Hick's healed. Yeah, we have to get this done. Let's go. We're good.
I'm at each.
I wanted to do actually.
On the dead. There's two deaths.
Give me a second.
LA doing their best to keep themselves in this game, but with a 13 and 21 performance from Octane and a 14 and 24 performance from Kenny, they just can't quite get over the pressure that Ultra are maintaining, with Scrap and Hicksy absolutely frying at the moment.
Yep. I mean, it's almost the exact opposite of what we got from the map number 1. Thieves getting outslayed, but this time around, Ultra getting the slays while also getting the majority of the time. But hold your horses, because now Envoy's really starting to heat things up in a massive way, up on a 4 spree. It's an integral point for Thieves to fully break inside. P4 still soaking up time.
If he could get a cruise missile, that would be instrumental. Of course, not necessarily going from scrap to initial here on this hard point, but trying to deter any setups as we head to 1 or 2. And these kills are clean for LA. Scrap still takes a double. Thinking about maybe trying to go for this on the exit. He gets 3 of the 4, so even though there will not be a contest for the Scrap, it does allow Ultra a chance to get their setup going here at Kitchen.
Ultra gonna be here first. They broke it last time for Thieves and actually get a respectable time there at 3 going in towards P4. Bring this just within 17. Ultra looking to hold players in and around the hard point. I mean, Hicksy was out on an island over by tennis courts. Thieves are gonna be aware they have a full 3v3 for this hill.
Back and forth go the kills. Klinex still holding in towards cafeteria. Only gets 1. Scrap left alive. FastNev in hand. Does the damage needed. Can he keep his life though? He's being pressured. Oh my goodness, Scrap, what in the world? Trophy system down! Scrap gets 3! And Ultra secure the hard point. Thieves looking good for the break, but Scrap flat out denies them. 31 and 22, and Ultra can smell the win.
This kid is so different, man. 219 to 184. Contest is in as well. Envoy trying to do everything he possibly can for the Thieves. Will at least extend it towards another rotation, but I mean, we are just picking at straws at this point, brother. 227 to 185. Ultra about to call game.
Inside Klinex still trying to hold on to this Scrap time. Drazah gets the opening 2. Scrap working with Klinex, and Ultra will not be denied a single second as Scrap continues to destroy the Thieves on the exit. 242, 185. Ultra can feel it. Hicksy tested over through orange as LA try to find a way to neutralize the hard point, and for the time being they will do so, but Scrap is still alive, and that's apparently all you need. Scrap, last one to find is in bathroom, will not get the kill, but he does take down Octane at range, and bang! Ultra shut down the stage 4 champs and secure themselves as a major threat moving to the end of the year.
Along with that, Scrap has now taken the most kill tally in 4 games, Alan. It was previously held by none other than Envoy. With that 30 bombs, Scrap will make another stamp in Call of Duty history. Confused faces for LA Thieves. You really did feel like we should be setting ourselves up for map 5. That map number 3, they might just lose a lot of sleep over, but Toronto came to play. Scrap was so consistent. It's what you expect out of the young buck, the rookie here for Ultra. 37 and 23 with almost 4K damage again. This guy is undeniable. He's coming different this stage, Alan. Look out.
I mean, what else do you need to say? He ends up tying, by the way, the 5-game kill record by Pred at 119 kills. So the fact that he does it in 4, unbelievable. 27 non-traded, another near 4K damage game. I mean, just give him the 4K. Are you kidding? But take a look at Charlie Hicksy below him. 28 and 22, 23 non-traded, and he gets a minute and a half in the hard point time. Come on.
I mean, I think, again, it just kind of accentuates that point that I was talking about with Scrap. I mean, the guy is always going to drop numbers. It's very rare in Call of Duty that we're going to sit there and say, oh, we always expect a player to drop just cataclysmic-like numbers. But, I mean, Scrap always delivers on it. But it's even more so than that, right? It's not just useless kills. Like, he's putting himself in really good positions to enable the rest of his teammates, like Hicksy, to go unnoticed through the hallways, through the middle of the map. Same for Klinex and Insight to also play off of that pressure. I mean, Scrap, he is just something else, man. I don't know what to say about that kid. He's something different.
That's all you can say. There's not a gunfight he doesn't want. There's not a gunfight he won't take. Doesn't matter the health, doesn't matter the ammunition, doesn't matter who's on the other side. And with that, Toronto win our final series of the day. The Dash standing by to wrap everything up.
119 kills, and you only played 4 maps. One of those was Search and Destroy. This guy's different. Thank you
He's
very
unbelievable,
much,
Pocket.
Shift and Proper. As we say goodbye, we say hello again to Alley Cat and Nameless as we break down this series. Scrap, of course, the rookie, the front runner for Rookie of the Year, powering his squad into my S tier. After seeing this matchup, you have to say this is the squad to compete with OpTic and LA Thieves for the next title.
I think you wipe your memory of Major 4 qualifiers and even more Major 4 itself when it comes to Toronto Ultra. I mean, statistically, I will have to lay it out for you in the fact that LA Thieves coming off of Major 4 was #1 in every single category, including Search and Destroy, where Toronto Ultra was the worst in the league. Well, they take that map #2 in a dominating fashion, and then we head into that LSU round #5. They're on the offensive side, and it is just a picture-perfect offensive round out of Toronto Ultra. They're executing their game plans, and not only that, Insight really turned up for me when it came to that head-to-head AR battle against the MVP, and as well as Scrappy, just once again solidifying himself as the front runner of Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, you know, this just proves like I was never worried about this team, and the reason being was there's always context when you look at these matches that they've had. There were so many round 10s, round 11s that they lost, 3-9 in Search and Destroy. With a roster like this, you don't expect that to keep on happening, right? So they come into here, they make some adjustments. I love what I saw in their offenses here. Kleenex getting up close and personal, and you know he was still making plays at times, but also they were getting that bomb down, which is something I really enjoyed seeing them do in that Search and Destroy, beating Thieves on one of their best maps there, and then Scrap throughout this series taking it over, especially in the pressure moments. I mean, you talk about round 5 control, insta-capping A, rotating through mid, picking up the kills through kegs. That is what you want to see. And when you put up a stat line like that, you're going to have an easy time, and that's exactly what happened, 3-1.
Impressive stuff here from Toronto Ultra. Tonight, they are going to pick up their second win here in the opening week of qualifiers. Let's take a look, though, at tonight's Scuff Play of the Game, featuring the rookie Scrap with the 3K in the kitchen doing work. Allie, break it down for me.
I mean, there's not a whole lot to break it down than just some serious pure gunning out of this guy. And this was a really big turning moment as well. So the kitchen hill, Toronto Ultra had the early rotation, but LA Thieves were able to break in within 40 seconds still left. This would have put them back in the game and in a spot to possibly close it out. So for him to get that huge 3-piece and re-solidify that time for the Toronto Ultra was a huge play from Scrap.
Big game-changing play as Toronto seals the deal in Game 4, not risking a second Search and Destroy against LA Thieves. And you can see what it means to Scrap. The man is fired up. Joining us live, though, we have to talk with Hicksy, the man right behind him on the scoreboard. Hicksy, welcome to the show. Welcome to the winner's circle. A ridiculous finish. And actually, Hicksy's audio is not working, so pause on that. Allie, let's wrap up this series, though. LA Thieves, are you worried at all? Your team's already locked in for champs.
I'm not worried at all, because I feel like when we get online sometimes, like we talked about this pre-match setup, LA Thieves get some mental block when it comes to online qualifiers every once in a while. And I think this is one of those situations where they started off a little bit wonky, even though that map won, they end up pulling out that W. And Toronto Ultra has just been looking so good at the start of this qualifier.
Nameless, we have 3 matches remaining for Toronto. Could they be our #1 seed heading into their home major? They have OpTic Texas, LAG, and Minnesota left to play.
Without question. I think, you know, Toronto's right in that mix. I mean, they're a top 4 team, and, you know, after these 2 performances that we've seen, we saw they made the adjustments. Scrap potentially can be the best player in the game, right? Like, he took over today. So if he can continue that, they absolutely have a chance to win Toronto. They're going to be a contender for sure.
We have another day of action still to come tomorrow. Remember, matches kick off at 3 o'clock. But as we revisit everything on the day, especially from this series, was Toronto the best squad we watched today? Is Boston the best squad? How do you rank them, Nameless?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's tough between LA Thieves and Toronto. Like, these guys can play 10 times. It can be 5-5 in match count, right? So I will give it to Toronto, but I am the most impressed by Boston Breach and their turnaround that they've had. I love what I saw from them. The teamwork today, I think Vivid being on this team, being sort of that leader and that glue, worked out great. I mean, you won 2 hour points today. You were not able to do that with that last roster. You're 1-8.
All right, excellent stuff here as Toronto gets the latest win on a 4-match day. Let's take you back, though, to the start of the day where we kicked things off in Minnesota. St. Paul hosting the second home series for Røkkr, and we saw the fans get behind their squad early. A 3-0 over London. They made quick work of the squad coming in.
Yeah, just following the script for our match number 1 here when it goes to Minnesota Røkkr versus the London Royal Ravens. I don't think there was a whole lot to write home about other than maybe Bance's triple nade was crazy, and we got kind of that look back into Afro being one of those more terrifying pressure-pushing SMGs on the map. But, I mean, just a pretty, as it was supposed to go series, as I said.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about Minnesota and the home series advantage, like, we've been gassing them a little bit, but they've only beaten Florida, LAG, and London. When we talk about those matches they've had, right?
So you beat the bottom 3 seeds.
You beat the bottom 3 seeds, and you've beat the worst Seattle Surge that we have ever seen, right? So I gave you that stat yesterday, right? So for Minnesota, now they're doing just what they need to do. When will they exceed that level and go to the next level and solidify themselves as the top 8 squad? Las Vegas is still right on their heels, so they got some work to do.
They do have just 3 matches left. As we take a look at Vegas, they also have played 2 series. This time they get a dub after back-to-back game 5s. Clayster gets the win and was in the winner's circle to talk about it.
Yeah, this was not only, I think, a massive W over New York Subliners, but a massive win fundamentally for the Vegas Legion. The fact that they were able to capitalize on the fact that New York allowed their worst hardpoint to slip through for that map 1 and win it in the fashion that they did, and then also win the Expo Control, where they have been struggling all season. They were gifted with a map and mode that they were comfortable on. They win it in a 3-0 fashion, and then they don't lose the game 5 search and destroy. My biggest worry point for the Vegas Legion, because search and destroy, they were number 2 in the league coming off of major number 4. They lost 2 to OpTic Texas yesterday in that game 5. Heading up against New York Subliners today, I'm happy they were able to close it out.
They clutch up in the game 5, and Vegas stays in the race for 8th. Nameless, looking forward for this squad. How do you feel about a Vegas team that is going to be chasing the team like Boston Breach?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tall task, because what we saw out of Boston today, I mean, they looked absolutely phenomenal. Obviously, they have a lot of players on their team, and they're just trying to find the right combination. And at least from that look, it looks like they found it. From what we saw from Awakening and Beans today, they looked way more free on the map. Vivid playing that objective time, being the first man in, is allowing players like Kremp to go on these crazy sprees and make plays on the pinch, which then sets up the ARs, right? So, you know, a lot of little things in the fundamentals that they were lacking that were cleaner today.
Very close games, but Boston is able to edge out Røkkr as Boston picks up their first win of the Major 5 qualifier. And I think everyone here at the desk wants to say, welcome back, Vivid. We missed you, buddy. Awesome to see you frying with the squad once again. That is a look at all of the matches on the day. And of course, we had a big effect on our standings, as everyone is going to be looking to lock in our top 8. Comfortable positioning right now for the Breach at 170 points. Røkkr are holding the door at 160. Vegas just 2 games back, and everyone else beneath it, well, you're running out of time.
Yeah, still a lot of opportunities. It really is the race between those 3 teams. And Vegas Legion, you know, are probably really mad at Minnesota Røkkr right now for not pulling out that W against the Boston Breach.
I think the cutoff's going to be like 200. I'm making a good guess.
200?
Yeah, Vegas need to win 6 more matches, and they're good.
All right, looking back on the day, best series of the evening?
I'm going to go with the Boston. Actually, no. New York and Vegas is the best.
New York, Vegas?
That was good.
Allie, best gameplay you watched tonight?
Best gameplay, like player, team? Team Toronto, they look disgusting.
Okay, there you have it. Tomorrow, let's see who's in action, as it's a 3-match Sunday. We kick things off with the Mutineers versus Guerrillas. One of them's getting 10 points. FaZe is taking on OpTic, though. That is going to be our marquee matchup at 4:30. And we have another banger for you at 6 o'clock. 3 of your top 4 teams, in fact, 4 of our top 5 teams all in action tomorrow. A fantastic Saturday. Thank you for tuning in on Twitch and YouTube. We'll see you tomorrow at headquarters, 2:45 Eastern, right here.
Pick up where I left off, it ain't over. Whole squad on the gravel, all I know, I'm a soldier staying up. Added swift, forget the trip. Back to mission, no surrender, just commitment. I see visions, eyes closed, shut, heart monitor going crazy. Met his panicking. Woke up from the stretcher in the red, removing the bandages. Hopes up, I'ma catch you up. Look at them scampering, rejuvenated, reborn, I'm basically the man again. Made the world stand still, they amazed, frozen like mannequins. Kick the door off the hinges, make waves, so when these vanishing. They ain't think I was able, but I'm Kane when it come to savageness. I'ma finish it, I'ma finish it. Still got a little fight, I'ma finish it. Little this, little that. Everyone pulling triggers full of max. Talking feces cause they full of that. Ain't really G's, they GNATs, they really just next. Scratch them off, power balls. Look at them spinning, they really spin offs. Getting me dizzy, give me a headache, maybe wanna tear my head off. I could really use the Tylenol. Candy rappers talking good and plenty, it's really too many to mention, but no, I'm tired of y'all. Sex to infinity, you could never be my enemy. You make me look good, I should be hiring y'all. I'm reborn, I'm basically the man again. Made the world stand still, they amazed. Frozen like mannequins. Kick the door off the hinges, make way. Someone needs banish shit. They ain't think I was able, but I'm came when it come to savageness. I'ma finish it. I'ma finish it. Still got a little fight. I'ma finish it. I'ma finish it.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna throw the nade, do the stun, and then I'll pre him low. I'll do the nade. Wait, can they come tunnel, yeah? Straight away, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll play. One of you pre my S&D.
Take some of them.
Oh, bro. I've got a trophy down.
Good try.
I've got a trophy down, bro.
It's deep cars. Yes. Yeah, stun it. Stun deep cars.
Dating him.
Absolutely.
Nice, good shit. Yo, EU, go.
Go. Shit, man. Good nade.
Oh, good. I had a trophy down. It's fine, you're chill.
All good.